I want to talk about something I saw on PC Gamer. Something on PC Gamer that kind of hurts me as a computer enthusiast, but I kind of understand how it happens. So, students don't know what files and folders are, professors say. A whole generation has grown up with powerful search functions and don't think about computers the same way. This is obviously a stock photo. For anyone who's too dumb to understand what a stock photo is, I shouldn't need to say that, but there is a comment in the comment section of someone not understanding what a stock photo is. But I'll show you that in a minute. So university students in courses from engineering to physics are having to be taught what files and folders are, The Verge reports, because that's not how they've grown up using computers. Whenever they need a file, they just search for it. I tend to think an item lives in a particular folder. It lives in one place and I have to go to that folder to find it. Astrophysicist Catherine Garland said, "They see it like one bucket and everything's in the bucket." Strange as it may seem to older generations of computer users who grew up maintaining an elaborate collection of nested subfolders, older generations like my generation. This is talking about like people in college right now. So there are people like, maybe I just lived in a bubble because I did go to university for computer science. So you'd expect people in computer science to know about computers. Maybe in other courses, like, maybe that's just not the case. Anyway, strange as it may seem to older computer users who grew up maintaining elaborate subfolders, thanks to powerful search functions now being the default in operating systems, unless you're on Windows 10 where the search is not great. If you're on macOS, Find is actually really good. It's been very good for a very long time. As well as the way phones and tablets obfuscate their file structure and cloud storage. Actually, this is a really good point. So, while you can access your file system on your Android phone, most of the generic file managers, like the file managers that come with it. I'll see if I can find mine actually. I don't use the standard one because I actually like to see where my shit's stored. Is that the default one? Yeah, here we go. Like, if you open up the Android file manager, this is what you're probably going to see. It focuses on it. It's not going to... Yeah, there you go. It shows you a bunch of categories of what things are. It doesn't say, hey, here is where it's located. It's like, okay, this is video, this is audio, this is an APK, things like that. So I can totally see that being the case, and especially with cloud storage, if you can just dump shit into like Google Drive, iCloud, Dropbox, anything like that, I can see that being an issue. Students have had these computers in my lab. They'll have thousands of files on their desktop, completely unorganized. I know people like that. Peter Plevchan, an associate professor of physics and astronomy at George Mason University, told The Verge, "I'm kind of an obsessive organizer, but they have no problem having thousands of files in the same directory, and I think that is fundamentally because of a shift in how we access files." Now, can I just say that anyone who has thousands of files on their desktop is a bit of a degenerate. Like, I'm a big fan of having a wallpaper. I use a window manager because I don't like having desktop icons. You can say that not having desktop icons is just a waste of space and I just shouldn't have a wallpaper, but I like it. So I like booting up my system and seeing my dumb wallpaper, and that's how I'm going to keep it. My family always gives me a hard time when they see my computer screen and it has like 50,000 icons, says Aubrey Vogel, a journalism major at Texas A&M. Oh, of course. Yep. As The Verge points out, the first internet search engines were around in the 1990s, but features like Windows Search, no, Windows Search is not a good search, and Spotlight on macOS are both products of the early 2000s. While many today's professors grew up without search functions on their phones and computers, today's students increasingly don't remember a world without them. They had search functions, they just, you know, weren't something like they were just an icon on your screen. It would be, hey, download a third-party app, or if you're on a Unix-based system, you would be able to use something like the find command, and that would allow you to do that. This isn't necessarily a bad thing or a reason to recoil in horror because how dare the youth of today do things differently? Why the very idea? No, that's actually... that is something you should do. Organize your damn folders. Like, organize your folders so you don't have to use your search. You can just click on something. When I was a student, I'm sure there was professors that said, oh my god, I don't understand that person who doesn't know how to solder a chip on a motherboard. If you're in an engineering degree, I hope you know how to do that. And Garland, the astrophysicist teaching an engineering course, has started using her PC search function to find files in the same way as students do. I'm like, I don't even need these subfolders. No, you do. Put your shit in stupid folders. Okay, here's the same idea, right? Let's say that you had a let's say that you had a big wall of things organized into folders. Now, you could put shit into just random folders there and be like, okay, this is fine, I can just search for stuff. But sometimes you don't know exactly what you're looking for is actually called. In which case, you probably want to have stuff sorted. Like, this is the big reason for having some sort of reasonable folder structure. So when you don't know what something is, you know where it may be. Like, I don't think this is just a generational thing. I think this is more... computers are a very easy thing to use at this point. And there's a lot of people who basically will just boot up the system and then just not really think about much. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that having some sort of structure is going to save you time when you forget about stuff. So I'm already old school. It's a lot sooner than I expected. Yeah, you're probably in your like late 20s, early 30s. Just by your picture. I'm Gen Z myself, 14 years old. You're also reading PC Gamer. Always took pride in how organized my PC was. Yeah, that's fair. Tech friendly isn't the same as tech savvy. That is something I try to get across on my channel. Our own folders, directors, and file names are just mnemonics to help us remember what and where we put things we're trying to find. Learning how to search efficiently and accurately is the key. With the right search terms, using Boolean logic, quotes, colons, hyphens, asterisks, you can locate pretty much anything you're looking for. Actually, this is a good point. It requires actually renaming stuff so you can find stuff sensibly. If you go and like copy an image from your phone, it's going to have a name like image51 JPEG. I believe it is highly misleading. Let's see. Weird, I thought the Minecraft generation that learned how to set up servers when they were still in elementary school would be ahead of us. No, they paid someone to do it. Where is that comment from the person who was saying this is fake? Maybe they deleted it. Maybe they deleted it because they realized it was dumb. Wait, no. Another thing the next generation won't have a clue about is using Microsoft Office. I already see it at work where new hires have no clue how to do basic stuff, basic things in Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Nobody knows how to do that unless you work in an office. That's not a generational thing. That's just a thing that nobody cares about. I find Windows search utterly hopeless. That's because it is. Where is that comment? I have a feeling they might have deleted it. Either that or this post took off so much that it's just been completely buried. But I think the problem a lot of people in these comment section are having anyway is they're looking at it from the perspective of someone who reads PC Gamer. Like, if you read PC Gamer, you are already a tier above the regular people who use a computer. Not to say like you're some elitist person or anything like that. It's just that if you're reading an outlet like PC Gamer, you already have a somewhat of an interest in computing. It may not be like an absolute deep interest. You might not be like super tech savvy or anything like that, but you at least have an interest in what your computer is. If you go find people outside of that space, most people don't give a shit about what their computer is running. What they care about is the computer fast enough to do what I want it to do? And if it's not fast enough, that means I need a new computer. It doesn't mean I need a new operating system. It doesn't mean I can switch to Linux and get more performance out of it. It doesn't mean I can like upgrade my GPU. It means my computer is bad. I need a new one. And that's the perspective of that is the perspective of people who would be doing this. They just use their computer as the magical box that lets them connect to the internet. But in fact, a lot of people don't use a computer. Like, if you can get away without using a computer, a lot of people are going to do that. If you can just do everything on your phone, I guarantee in like a generation or so, that's going to be the way that it ends up being done. There's always going to be like these hardcore techie people who want to run Linux and want to have their desktop and all of this sort of stuff. But the general consumer, I think is very much shifting away from that point. And I don't think there's any way to really bring that back, or really any reason for it to be brought back, really. Like, if you can get everything you want done without really caring what your computer is doing, why should you really care? That's pretty much where it is. Now, keep in mind that if you're watching this podcast, you are not in the category of people who would probably be doing this. You're probably in the category of people who actually do care about their folder structure, and do care about their computer, and do care about all of this stuff. But find someone in like a journalism degree, or in an arts degree, or in like even a science degree. A lot of those people aren't gonna really care. Science, you probably should, because if you're going into like any sort of lab work, you do need to like understand something about how your computer works, but not to the same extent that it would have been when you'd have to like set up stuff on something like DOS.